Welcome to the Explainer. Looking at the major reports from May 16th, 2026, it's absolutely wild to see how our world is caught in this massive tug of war. On one hand, we've got AI and tech just sprinting forward, literally reshaping how we live day to day. But then, on the flip side, intense physical and geopolitical frictions are quite literally dragging us down and, well, heating us up. We are living in an era defined by this extraordinary push and pull. Which brings us to the core question we're going to unpack today. Think about it. What happens when completely boundless digital growth slams right into intense real-world friction? How do these two massive forces interact? And honestly, what does it all mean for our daily lives, our economies, and our future? Okay, let's dive into this. To make sense of it all, we've distilled the landscape down to 5 main themes. Number 1, the AI and tech acceleration. Number 2, geopolitical strain in markets. Number 3, climate extremes in energy. Number 4, the digital culture shift. And finally, number 5, racing toward the future. Kicking things off with Section 1, the AI and tech acceleration, covering digital leaps and hardware ambitions. The world is hitting a massive digital growth spurt right now, and India is positioning itself squarely at the center of it, really aiming to become a major innovation hub. Just look at the sheer scale here. Billions in global investments are pouring into Indian AI startups. Meanwhile, UPI just crossed incredible new volume milestones. I mean, that proves this isn't just a fleeting trend, it's a massive, society-wide shift. We're seeing smartphones launching with AI built right into the core, and robotics usage is absolutely surging on factory floors. The digital leap is literally everywhere you look. Now, what's really interesting here is the fascinating split happening between the software dream and the hardware reality. On the software side, like generative AI and fintech, things are just exploding. Digital India projects are successfully reaching villages and expanding rural internet access. But here's the catch. You can't run the software of tomorrow without the hardware of today. That's exactly why there's a massive strategic scramble for physical semiconductors. India is aggressively pushing to become a manufacturing hub, specifically to cut its reliance on foreign imports and build everything right at home. Moving into Section 2, geopolitical strain and market volatility. A world in friction. So our digital world might feel boundless, but the physical world? It's hitting some really hard boundaries right now. Localized tensions are creating massive international ripples. For instance, fresh attacks in the Russia and Ukraine conflict have Europe deeply anxious about their energy supplies, while NATO is actively reviewing its defense strategies. Down in the Middle East, military tensions between Iran and Israel, alongside the highly sensitive Gaza crisis, are completely destabilizing global oil markets. And simultaneously, US and China posturing over Taiwan is creating some very real, significant risks for international shipping routes and global supply chains. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why these distant conflicts actually matter to your daily life. It's a total domino effect. Step 1, Middle East conflicts escalate. Step 2, global oil prices get spooked and destabilize. Step 3, that pressure directly weakens the Indian rupee against the US dollar. And finally, Step 4, because importing goods and fuels suddenly costs more, governments and everyday consumers face rising inflation. Simply put, you end up paying a lot more at the grocery store. This volatility creates a bizarrely divided economy. Depending on your industry, you're either flying high or completely grounded. Banks are actually thriving right now. They're reporting stronger profits thanks to loan growth and the higher interest rates that central banks are using to fight inflation. But airlines? Oh, they are struggling globally. Those volatile oil prices we just talked about translate into soaring aviation fuel costs, and that eats directly into their operations and profitability. Unsurprisingly, the Sensex, Nifty, and gold are bouncing around wildly as investors panic and look for safe havens to park their money. But here's a really fascinating geopolitical pivot. Amidst all this Western market anxiety, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other BRICS nations are actively discussing stronger economic cooperation. They want to build global trade frameworks totally outside of traditional Western influence. India is even pushing hard for UN Security Council reforms, essentially arguing that the old global institutions just can't handle modern realities anymore. All right, Section 3, climate extremes and the energy shift. Let's look at the physical reality. If the global markets are running hot, well, our environment is quite literally doing the same. The crucial data point today is 44 degrees Celsius. That's over 111 degrees Fahrenheit. States like UP, Bihar, Delhi, Rajasthan, and MP are baking under severe heat waves. And guys, this isn't just an uncomfortable few days. It's a massive physical crisis causing severe power and critical water shortages right across these regions, while forest fire risks are increasing all over the globe. Local governments are basically trapped in a constant state of emergency response. Right now, the immediate goal is survival, managing these critical summer power shortages and just keeping the electrical grid alive. But looking ahead to soon on our timeline, India is urgently upgrading its monsoon tracking systems to get better, more accurate flood forecasts. And what's next? Coastal states are already bracing themselves and enhancing their cyclone preparedness plans. It's just a relentless cycle of extreme weather management. But we aren't just taking it. Humanity is aggressively fighting back. We're seeing a massive push for green energy and sustainable infrastructure. Major cities are rolling out fleets of electric buses to choke off severe air pollution. Globally, renewable energy projects are expanding rapidly. Serious cash is pouring into climate tech startups, and major leaps in battery technology are set to drastically boost EV adoption worldwide. Essentially, extreme weather is forcing the green energy transition into absolute hyperdrive. Let's move to Section 4, the digital culture shift, adapting through screens. So, with all this real-world friction, heat, and economic pressure, how is society actually coping? Well, we're turning to our screens. YouTube Shorts creators are absolutely exploding because, let's face it, when the world feels overwhelming, we crave quick, engaging distractions. And remember that AI boom we talked about earlier? It's taking over here too, with AI-generated videos and voiceovers totally dominating our feeds. Interestingly, digital influencers are increasingly stepping up to create news and educational content. Over in mainstream entertainment, South Indian cinema continues to completely dominate the box office, while gaming and esports creators are independently gaining millions of followers. Our entire cultural diet has fundamentally changed. Finally, Section 5, racing toward the future, preparing for tomorrow. Because despite the immediate friction and challenges of today, humanity is aggressively pushing the frontier across basically every sector. Up in space, SRO's actively prepping for ambitious new satellite and moon missions. We are pouring huge global investments into quantum computing, looking to solve problems that traditional computers can't even touch. Down here on Earth, students are intensely using sophisticated new AI tools to prepare for competitive exams. And honestly, it is incredible to see Indian archers and chess players drawing massive global online audiences as they compete at the highest levels. We're a species totally obsessed with reaching the next level. Which leaves us with this final vital thought. As the boundless acceleration of AI and digital technology continues to surge forward, and the very real physical and geopolitical friction of our world intensifies, which force will ultimately define our future? Will our technological leaps save us from the friction, or will the physical friction break our technological momentum? It's the ultimate push and pull of our time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.